Land of Dawn for game number 4 between Burn X Flash versus Blacklist International. Who is in match point?
To Mobile Legends.
Okay, so if you look at Burn X Flash, for them to win it back, CHMA to set up, as well as CCAT, but D7, the power pick on the Natalia, first phase for Burn X Flash, is it enough?
So right off the bat, we're looking at Blacklist International with the mage heading down to the bottom lane. This is the initial rotation that we have seen, and this is what they would do in order to get all 4 of them level 4.
Yeah, I'm sorry to nerd out here, but I was thinking that Natalia can do that. Look at the infinite he's doing. He's gonna disrupt Wise's jungle pattern.
His jungle pattern is mostly going down, going from the orange down to the purple. So this is mostly going down to the southern side. But once that is done, he will eventually make his way to the northern side, and that is where he will be able to get his level 4. Otherwise, he will need to wait a little bit more time before he can eventually get that.
So good. I mean, they did not pick the Natalia just for the sake of countering the Novaria. They actually have a plan against Blacklist.
I mean, they also found and knew that, yes, Wise is doing this from top to bottom, just from the single jungle creep that is available, that is closest to the first tier defense turret in the middle. All the information is out there.
No heavy spin anymore. But still no Petrify for ATM. Still, massive ultimate that's not available for Blacklist.
If CHMA chooses a time to pop off with his retreat, now is the best time to do so. Blacklist with match point, they need it. This is the last hope for the Cambodians.
It is all about disciplined play from the side of Blacklist International. It's either they would want to keep the Natalia in the main team fights and use Novaria as this bait, or do they just want to find a way to unlock Brody? That is the big question. In the meantime, ATM...
Wise wins it in the 50-50. CHMA is going to be bursted down, but Yin Yang overturn as well. ATM still surviving. Venus not able to connect right there. CCAT steals it with a heavy spin to disengage. D7 unable to find an opening in that skirmish.
First total going down to Blacklist International.
Oh my god. You see, Edward just knows his job so well. The reason why Wise was able to win the 50-50 is, without the heavy spin, is because of Edward. The stun connects. And he knows that CHMA will eventually be showing himself. He didn't even have to use the flicker for that play. That is how good Edward was.
Let's see what they do here in the second minute of the game. What does Burn X Flash need to find at this point, at this stage, to turn it around? Because Blacklist, now with the Kagura, with a Brody, with a Lapu, the snowball potential is massive.
I really like to see this Lapu in the hands of Edward. So far, it was always just joy and trying to get himself the priority and such. But this time, with the Lapu, you're playing things a little bit safer. You're not trying to win in the lanes. You just want to play safe and eventually get to where you are. Especially since you're fighting against a Yuzhong here. Let's remember that.
Yin Yang overturn and the bravest fighter there. A few more hits under the turret. A clean dive from Blacklist International. CHMA looks for a trade, but is unable to find anything here. Uses the retribution. It's a slow. That is it.
No, it's not advisable for him to stay in here. They need to give the farm to Yuzhong. And already Blacklist International leading by 1,000 gold. That's all of those mini moves that Blacklist International have been able to do, allows them to get a massive lead with just a 2-0. You see, Wise utilize the heavy spin just to take out and steal that orange buff. That was a massive play for Blacklist, and now they have so much of an opening in the early stages.
Also, how much of a lead does Edward have on top of ATM? Because I'm pretty sure that an entire creep wave is pretty much missed out from the side of ATM.
Yeah, maybe.
So it could pretty much translate to a single $600 item.
600 gold.
600 gold. Yes. Oh, really? 600 gold. Okay.
Oh, heavy spin responded over by heavy spin. CHMA walks up, but he still misses the retreat. It's Wise who picks it up, staying composed as ever. ATM with a Black Dragon form. He shouldn't be able to do anything. Meanwhile, Owl picking up the turret plating in the bottom lane, getting so much gold for himself and snowballing, pushing it even further.
I don't know about this, but for the side of Burn X Flash, they have been reacting more than attacking.
Yeah. Oh, Wise is just so good at the jungle.
PMI gets him out. D7 with a few damage hits onto UM, but Wise will not be able to steal away the orange buff this time. CHMA forced to retreat.
a lot of movements from the side of Blacklist International. They would want to even get themselves the proxy down to the southern side. They want to push this all the way through. Give Owl all of that gold. Give him all of the farm and just funnel everything else out.
Though.
It's unfortunate though, the Torn Apart memory didn't quite work out for them, but Wise
Pinned down. Yin Yang overturn from Yue to pick the kill up. Blacklist just rolling in this game. 2.6 thousand gold lead. No stopping Blacklist for now.
that's a free turret down at the bottom lane. So it only makes sense for ATM to try to go for a counter. It wants to find the counter value all the way up to the top lane.
The Wise is playing the side of the jungle that should belong to Burnix Flash.
It's like vertical jungling, isn't it?
Vertical jungling. Not even just vertical jungling. It's like literally just taking everything that he wanted.
It's a square jungle.
It's a square jungle.
No, the entire jungle is just his.
Jungle. It's just his map. Wise has just owned this game. And by the way, this is not the first time. I think all 4 games that we saw this game, Wise was just phenomenal. Even in the game that they lost, as the Baksha, he was 3-0-3 in the first 5 minutes. That's how active he was. And now he's 2-0 or 0-0-2. I mean, out of the 3 kills that they have in the first 6 minutes, leading by a lot when it comes to AXP. He's level 9 while Chima's level 8.
With the turtle spawned up, the entirety of Blacklist International wants to get themselves the total priority. They're hanging around the riverbed and they're just waiting for the perfect time. Opening up all these brushes. Oh my Venus, even with the Astro Echo. He did manage to find one, but Burnex Flash, it seems like they understood where they stand. They understood that they cannot possibly take this away from the hands of Wise. Otherwise, the gap widens.
3 turtles. The gap is as wide as it can be for Blacklist in the 7th minute of the game. Owl is also snowballed. D7's trying to get some vision here, but he's actually going to be read out by Venus. Some damage placed down, but D7 caught in a bad spot. Now Owl as well. This should just be a free kill over. There's nowhere to run. D7 has been taken out.
I don't know about this. This Natalia play is very different from what we have seen against the RSG. It haven't really been producing much results.
Yeah, well, this is because it was a 3rd pick, Natalia. And all they had to do was to pick up Lapu Lapu. Lapu Lapu not gonna be concerned. Has a ton of armor or physical damage defense. You have the Brody that's unported by the Natalia.
Probably just tunnel vision onto just bringing Oh My Venus down. That's just how much respect that they have for Oh My Venus's the Rivaria. To get it.
That's why I felt like the ATM's Yuzhong might not be the case. Because the thing with Natalia, if you want to pick up the Natalia, somebody always has to stay in lane. Yuzhong don't want to do that. You want a team fight afterwards, right? Don't want to get a kill. You need something like a sustain. Like, yeah, Uranus, your Esmeralda, perhaps the Joy at a certain point. Heroes that stay in lane. So that everybody else will be busy, you'll have your shot at clearing out some, getting a pick-off, perhaps.
But D7 wanders around. He's trying to look for these small little opportunities that is presented to him. Now, even if they have the Natalia, they don't have the control of the river. He can kill, technically speaking, once he has got an item and once they have got return lead, right? They should be able to get himself the kill onto the Kagura, being one of the biggest problems in the team. Look at a Yin Yang overturn. What can he do to D7?
Well, he can burst him down. That's clear right now. I don't think D7 has enough resources to do anything against the back line of Blacklist International, but ATM very deep in enemy territory right now, using the Fierce Dive defensively, and he just practically isolates himself. The Petrify comes through. ATM doing some damage. CCAT with a flicker in, but it's miscommunication. No one was there to follow it up. CCAT burned his flicker for nothing. D7 is looking for a trade back, but Owl is already gone.
Isn't this exactly what Leo has said? Where we are expecting and we are seeing Burnex Flash starting to, get a little bit of a communication problem.
Finally.
There's one back. Burner finally on the board. CHMA looking for an opening here onto the Lord, but it does seems like Blacklist International should be able to take this for free. No contest whatsoever. Burn put their resources up top. Donut isn't even able to go for a trade. It's Blacklist with a free Lord.
Blacklist is just keeping to their code. They're just playing their average game. It's like as though they never lost a single game. Because that is a big thing. The fact that Blacklist International lost to Burnex Flash for game number 2, I would have thought that it would have affected them. but it didn't. They're still calm, they're still composed, and they're still disciplined.
Wise with a heavy spin, trying to buy some time or trying to open up some space. Owl, turn apart memory. Does it get him? No, CHMA is able to escape. Barely, almost gets him.
Did Natalia get hit by the Astral Echo? No, he didn't. Utilize it. All the same, you can see BLACKLIST International just owning the map. Wise taking away the buff once again. Utilizing the Lord so that the lanes will naturally push. And then they will take out the mid lane turret. Gonna be moving into the middle. It's gonna be difficult for Burning Splash to defend.
This is a it feels very much of a front to back from the side of Burning Splash, right? The way that they have played. They want to target over to the back lines, but in the meantime, they just doesn't seem like they have the confidence to do so. They probably understood that if they were to jump into the back lines, the entirety of BLACKLIST just crumbles and collapses on them. But shouldn't that be the value that we should be looking out for? Try to find a couple of traits like between ATM for someone else. That's the death should make sense.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they decided to go for this Yuzhong and they haven't been utilizing it. Like what they did in game number 3, where the real world manipulation just doesn't really connect to benefit the Burning Splash members. This time, they're not team fighting.
They're losing the steam.
Yeah.
It's like they're running out of charcoal or coal, rather.
For sure.
And it's just not pumping.
Well, didn't spot D7 there, but finally does now. Skill 2 in front, first skill, that's the ultimate. Smoke screen for D7, Wise comes down, gets them, CCAT isn't in time. Yin overturn, barely connects. Venus almost just took CCAT down.
Absolutely uncharacteristic to see a marksman chasing after an assassin.
ATM now with a Black Dragon form, Owl with Wind in nature. With a wind chant, Pop able to escape. No heavy spin this time for BLACKLIST International as Donut is still clearing it out in the mid lane.
And
we still have 30 seconds left until the Lord comes out.
Yeah, but then again, there's really no team fight for the side of Burning Splash.
I mean, we're looking at a 6,000 goal lead in favor for BLACKLIST International. What kind of possibility can Burning Splash look out for? Because they do have Natalia. They can find trades.
Maybe, but they will have to wait for Donut to reach maximum items. I don't think if you place this correctly, you will not be bursted out by the. By this Yin Yang overturn perhaps, or maybe by Owl. Then rely on D7. At this point, ATM is just a starter for team fights. He's not gonna be able to find the opening in the backlines.
I understand that they would want to extend this game for a little while longer in order for Donut to eventually get to the power of spike that they want.
That's the only option here.
And D7 can eventually get there as well, because once the D7 has got the item that you want, Owl is more or less dead. It's actually not just Owl. Oh, my Venus will be dead, Yue will be dead, but Next Flash would have a 1-for-1 trade no matter how it is going to be like.
But as it stands, they cannot team fight at all.
They can't. Yeah, they can't. So in the mid stages of the game, that is the missing link that we're looking at, isn't it?
Yeah. Perhaps, yes.
Oh, Raven Spider, D7's gonna be caught in the stun as well with a flicker. Solo kill from Agent Zero.
You can't do that against Lapu. Natalia versus Lapu, that's gonna spell doom. So much armor, so much physical defense. And really no way for Natalia to win against
Donut's gonna be shut down! US with the Yin Yang overturn!
Let's not forget the Astral Echo. The debuff was on him as well. Alright? The Yin Yang overturn damage was insane, but the question is, what was he doing there?
Oh, I don't know how to answer that, because now they will suffer from that kind of pickup. 14 minutes, might lose an inhibitor because of this.
A 10,000 gold lead for BLACKLIST International. They're marching down, sieging the base, not giving any mercy. ATM with the Furious Dive. Bedford gonna be able to cancel it out with the Bravest Spider. Anti-CC. Venus is looking for the Astral Sphere, but they will just utilize the Enhanced Lord still in that top lane. Gonna be crashing down. CHMA isolated from the team, now brought back with a heavy spin. D7 in the back line, trying to dive, but it's gonna be Yue! Again! Able to lock him down! Donut with a blazing duet in desperation, but ATM will fall to Agent Zero. Lord on the base. Burn X Flash falling one by one. The embers and the flames have been extinguished. BLACKLIST International have knocked the Cambodians out.
The first team that has made their way up and climbing it all through to the grand finals. Blacklist International. Ladies and gentlemen, bear witness.
Another